Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the class. This is our balance exercise series. Today is week 4. Today's our second to last class. Next week is going to be week 5 and our final class. I know we have a couple of new people joining us today. So if you are new to the class, welcome. We will be doing our exercise class started in a seated position, and then we'll move to a standing position, and then come back to a seated position for the end of the class. So if you are new, not to worry, do your best to follow along. If there's anything that you're needing some help with, you can always have a look at our previously recorded classes. All the exercise class from the series have been recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel, which is Parkinson Society BC, all in one word. If you're not sure where to find that, you are welcome to send us an email after class, and I can send you the direct link for the balance exercise series. This class is targeting those who are frequent fallers, and so you will see a lot of weight shifting, a lot of direction change type movements in the class, and it's going to be relatively slow paced because this is our low impact and low intensity exercise class. If you are someone who is looking for a higher intensity, more cardio focused class, you can check out our Steady boxing class on Wednesdays tomorrow, which is actually the last class, but you are of course welcome to sign up. Hello, everybody. Great to see you all. Okay, so we are using the Zoom webinar platform today, which means that your microphones are automatically muted. If you did have any questions, you are welcome to either type in the chat box, or you are welcome to use the raise hand function, in which case I will enable your microphones if you prefer to ask your questions over voice instead of typing. It's up to you. Or of course, you are welcome to send us an email or give us a call later if you have questions that you would like to ask outside of the class. Okay. All right, so maybe let's get started. So today you are going to need one tissue box or something that's around the size of a tissue box. It doesn't have to be a tissue box exactly, but something around the size. And then I've also got a cushion here that I'm going to be using today. If you don't have a cushion, absolutely fine. You are welcome to use something you can just hold on to in your hand that's around the size, and that's fine as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be a cushion, but I thought a cushion would be most people have cushions at home, and is great as well. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to have a stand up. Hopefully you can see me okay. It's quite sunny in the room today, so I've just pulled the blinds down so you don't get too much reflection coming in. Okay, so we're sitting in our chairs and we're going to shuffle forward in our chairs. So we want to make sure we're not sitting back like this. We're not slouching down to the side. We want to really use our tummy muscles. We're going to sit upright, making sure our body's right over our hips, and we're going to shuffle to the front of our chair so that our spine is nice and long for sitting. And we're going to start today with some marching on the spot. And as we're marching here, noticing that my arms are swinging forward and backwards. So not just forward, but they're going backwards as well. We're marching on the spot, lifting those knees nice and high. We're sitting up nice and tall, crown of the head reaching toward the ceiling. Nicely done. Keep going with this pattern, making sure we're sitting up nice and tall, chest is open. And now as we're marching here, we're going to keep the same pattern, but we're going to move the legs forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. So the same marching pattern, we're just moving the legs forward and back, making sure that now that we're moving the legs forward and back, we're not going to slouch like this in our chairs. We're still sitting up nice and tall as we're going forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. Nicely done. Now, of course, if anything feels little too fast for you today, that's okay. Feel free to the same technique. It's no problem. The speed is not so much a factor here. We're just working on some of the skills here of moving. Okay, keep it going. We're still doing our forward, forward, back, back beat pattern, but this time we're going to add the arms. So we're going to go forward, back, forward, back. So we're pushing the arms forward, pull them back, push, pull. Making sure as we're doing this forward back movement, the knees are still lifted up nice and high, so we're not shuffling the feet like this. Not that anyone's doing it like that, I'm sure, but we're trying to pick up the feet, make sure we're almost like we're stomping the floor with every step. Forward, back, spread the fingers, forward, back. Imagine you're pushing something away and pulling towards you again. Nicely done. And we're going to now switch the feet. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Switch the feet. Right. If you're not sure what foot you're starting on, that's okay. Just keep moving. Keep spreading those fingers nice and wide. Pushing and pulling. Almost imagine you're stomping the floor. No sliding your feet. Nicely done. Let's go for another 5. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back, sit up nice and tall, relax the arms. This time we're moving the leg out to the side like this. So we're shifting our weight over to one bottom, and the other leg is going to be freed up to tap to the side. And then we're coming to the other side, shifting our weight, tap, shifting our weight, tap, shifting our weight, tap. Keep going. I'm just going to check the chat box. Oh, I'm freezing. Okay. Keep going, everybody. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on. The internet on my end says it's all okay. I'm not sure what's going on with the freezing. They are doing construction by the home, so I'm not sure if that's got something to do with it. But keep following along to the best of your abilities. If you need to have a look at the recording afterwards, that's fine as well. I do apologize about the internet. I'm not sure what's happening here. But I want you to keep tapping. So you're shifting your weight from bottom to bottom, and you're freeing up the leg to tap to the side, tapping the toes to the side. Nicely done. We're going to add the arms now. We're going to reach the same arm as the leg reaching out, except this time we're going up to the opposite diagonal. So we're shifting our weight, tapping the foot out to the side, and we're reaching that same arm to leg to the opposite diagonal. Nicely done. Keep going. Reach. Really keep your chest facing forward. So we're not turning, right? We're not turning. We're keeping our chest forward, shoulders away from the ears as you're tapping. Remember, if anything feels too fast, you are welcome to slow it down. But I really want you to feel that you're shifting your weight from side to side. You're shifting your weight in the seat here from bottom to bottom. Nicely done. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, we're going to circle those arms back. Oops, let me move forward. Circling those arms back in a big circle. Or if you've got shoulder issues and you can't quite go up as high, that's okay. You can go a little lower. Whatever, we're going to start with nice big circles. And then with every circle you do, we're going to make the circle smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until you're doing a very small, quick circle on the spot like so for 10, 9, 8, 3, 2, 1. Drop the arms for a second, and we're going to circle in the opposite direction. So now I'm circling forward because a moment ago I was circling back, but if you were circling forward a moment ago, you're going to be circling back. So just like before, starting nice big circles and then making the circles smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until you're doing a very small, quick circle like so for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop the arms. Nicely done. Still sitting up nice and tall, bottom forward. You're going to float those arms up beside you. And then we're going to dip down to the side. So you can spread the legs a little wider if you feel like you don't have enough balance for this, but we're tipping to the side, noticing that it's not just the arms going, but my body is moving to the side. And I'm reaching the fingertips toward the floor, the other hand reaching to the ceiling. Holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up and dropping the arms, same to the other side. Floating the arms up, and we're tipping down to the side, and we're holding it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming up. We held a little longer on that side because the first side we talked through half of the beginning of it. Okay, hand reaching the opposite knee, other hand wrapping around the back of the chair, sitting tall, and you're going to rotate on the spot to look at the back while twisting on the spot. Imagine your spine like a corkscrew, turning on the spot, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pressing to the other side. Take your hand, hold on to the opposite knee, other hand wrapping around the chair, sitting tall, reach the spine up towards the ceiling, rotating on the spot like a corkscrew to look at the back wall for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to the front. I'm going to turn my chair sideways. You stay where you are. Now, we're going to slip back in the chair. So we're shuffling our bottom back and we're leaning into the chair. And now I want you to slouch a little bit. This is the only time we're slouching, but we're slouching in the chair, leaning into the chair. We're going to bring those hands up behind our head like so. Open up those elbows to the side. And we're going to arch back up and over the chair. Just be careful not to tip the chair too far back because no one should be falling. But we do want to arch over the chair so you feel a stretch in your upper back and in your chest for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up. Drop the arms for a second. We're still leaning back in the chair. And then we're going to do that one more time. Bring those hands up behind the head, open the chest, and we're arching back up and over, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up. Using our tummy muscles, we're going to sit back up. Nicely done. And then we're going to shuffle our bottom forward in the chair. So now we are going to practice our sit to stand. So previously, we talked about doing our sit to stands nice and slow, nice and controlled, always keeping our base of support right under our center of gravity. So meaning we're getting the body forward, like someone pulling your shirt forward. You're getting your body so far forward that your entire body weight goes over your base of support, in this case, your feet. And you're gonna push the floor away from you, squeeze your butt cheeks in to stand up nice and tall, keeping your center of gravity over your base of support at all times. Same thing on the way down, bending those knees, bringing the chest forward, keeping your body weight over the base of support to sit down. And we're gonna start that again. Bring the body weight forward over the feet, push the floor away from you to stand all the way up. And then we're doing the same thing in reverse. Sitting back down, keeping your weight over your center of gravity at all times, your base of support at all times, and then you sit down. Keep going with this. What we don't want to see is us pulling up on something to stand up, or us do this, lift our bottom up, but our weight is so far back in the chair that there's no way we're getting up with the arms. And we also don't want to do this, where we push the back of our legs into the chair to stand. We want the power of our body to move and stand. So keep going with this. Now, if you are new to this exercise, you're welcome to stay here. But for those who have been practicing the one leg bias that we did last week, you're welcome to start that now. One leg forward, one leg back. The leg that's further back is the one that you're biasing. So you're bringing your center of gravity over that back leg to do the same sit to stand nice and slow. So do 3 on one leg, then switch 3 on the other leg, and you keep switching after every 3. Of course, if you're feeling like this is way too easy and you want a challenge, you are welcome to lift up your foot like so at the front, so that way only your heel's on the floor and it's nice and light. We're not stepping. It's nice and light. Imagine those eggshells underneath that heel, so that way you're biasing that one leg. Okay, so do 3 on one side, 3 on the other side, or you're welcome to stay with both feet down. If you would like, both feet down is okay too. It's up to you. Now, remember what previously we spoke about balance exercises being exercises that kind of challenge you to be able to keep your center of gravity over your base of support, regardless of what direction you're moving, how you're turning, or how quickly you're moving. So we're practicing going nice and slow here, keeping our center of gravity over our base of support. And that is how we balance in daily life, is by moving in multiple directions, but having the ability to keep our center of gravity over our base of support, so we're always upright. So this is a really good start to practicing that with our sit to stands. So it's up to you what version you want to do. You can either do the single leg bias, or you can have both feet side by side and you're doing with both legs. I can see in the chat box that someone says the freezing is still ongoing. I'm not sure how to fix the freezing, unfortunately, because on my end, the internet looks like it's at full bars. But the only thing I can say is if the internet's quite slow and you're not able to follow along to the class very well, you are always welcome to have a look at the recording afterwards and redo some of those exercises if you weren't able to get it the first time. My apologies about that. I'm not sure how to fix the internet at the moment. Keep going. Hopefully you're still able to get some exercise in. I've lost count. I've been talking. I think I've done 3 on that side, but keep going. We're going to go for 6 more sit to stands wherever you are, whatever version you're doing. You're going to do 6 more in your own time. Remember to really keep your center of gravity, i.e. your weight, over your base of support, i.e. the foot that you're standing on, or the feet you're standing on if you're using both. Remember to go nice and slow and controlled. Nobody should be swinging themselves up with momentum. No one should be cheating by using their arms pulling up on something. Don't let the back of your legs push against the chair. Remember, you should be sitting at the edge of the chair so that way you have room to get up. Nicely done. When you've done your 6, you're gonna keep standing. So you're gonna stay in a standing position once you've done your 6. Okay. Just moving my chair aside so you can see me. Okay, now we're standing. We're gonna start with our multi-directional lunges. So I'm just gonna make sure I'm not gonna hit my wall here. So we are going to do 2 steps forward, 1 on each leg, like this. So ignore the arms, look at the legs. I'm gonna go forward, other leg, forward, other leg to the side, other leg to the side. You can ignore my arms. Other leg to the back. Other leg to the back. And then we start that again. So we did forward, forward, side, side, back, back. Okay, that's the legs. Now the arms, we're gonna reach opposite arm to leg. So the arms are gonna be swinging like this. So from the side, the arms are swinging like this the entire time. We're moving opposite arm to leg and making sure that we're not just doing this, but we're swinging the arms back as well. So here's what it looks like. Forward is opposite arm to leg. I know I'm a little cut off here. My room's a little too narrow. Forward. Now to the side, we're going to open those arms. Side. Open those arms. Side. Now going back, we're doing the same opposite arms. Opposite arm to leg, back. Back. And then we start again on the other side. We go forward. Forward. Side. Side, back, back, and then other side again. Okay, if you get the sides mixed up and you end up doing the same side every single time, doesn't matter, entirely up to you. You're still doing both sides because you're stepping with both legs anyway, so it's not a big deal. Okay, let's try. I'll see if I can maybe adjust my camera a little bit more. Okay, let's try again. Forward, forward. Make sure you take a big step, okay? Side. Make sure the step is not tiny. To the back. Back. And repeat. Front. Front. Side. Side. Back, back. Okay, keep going. So let me do it on an angle. I'm gonna go on a diagonal because otherwise I think my arms and legs are getting cut off. So you're taking a large step, right? So we're not just doing this. Doesn't count. We're taking a large step. Large step. Large step. Make sure the arms are going backwards just as much as they're going forward. And if this is too fast for you, don't worry. You are welcome to slow it down. It doesn't have to be the same speed I'm doing. You're welcome to slow it down. But I want to challenge you to take large steps. So the previous weeks, we've been practicing this a lot. Do you remember? We've been practicing this kind of multi-directional stepping, not all in one go. We've been doing them separately over tissue boxes, if you remember. But now we're putting it all together. Nicely done. Spread the fingers wide open. Remember, you're facing forward when you're doing this, but I'm on an angle because my room is a little bit of an odd shape. So when I'm facing you, then arms and legs get cut off. Nicely done. Big steps. Make sure you lift the feet. So don't let your feet shuffle back in. Lift them if you can. Imagine you've got little tissue boxes on the floor that you're stepping over with each step. Make sure the back arm is reaching as well. Nicely done. Keep going. Let's do one more wherever you are. One more set, meaning one round of forward, forward, side, side, back, back in your own time. And then we'll move on to the next one. And stop when you are done. Okay, we're gonna grab our tissue box now. And we're going to put it right beside us like so. So we are going to do a windmill exercise. You might recognize this from some of the other classes, but we're going nice and slow. And here's what we're gonna do. Here's the feet. So the feet are gonna go over the box, over the box. Okay, same thing on the other side. Over the box, over the box. You notice that I'm physically lifting my leg up nice and high over the box, so I'm not stepping on the box, right? I'm lifting high over the box, not around the box, over the box. So I'm lifting those legs nice and high. So this is the legs, okay? The legs go sideways, in, sideways, in. Now, the arms are going like this. Let me move back. So the arms start on one side, and we're going to go up and over to the other side. So this is the arms, okay? And same thing on the other side, reaching up and over. So I really want you to imagine there's a blank canvas in front of you, and you've got your fingers dipped in paint, and you're painting a gigantic rainbow in front of you, one arm at a time. So one arm, then the other arm. Again, one arm, then the other arm. So we're going up and over. So we're not just doing this or this, but we are physically rotating our body up and over, okay? So with the legs, let's do it slow. Here's what it looks like. Up and over. Oops, let me move back so you can see. So the legs kind of move with the arms. So we go first arm over, second arm and leg over. First arm and leg over, second arm and leg over. But you'll notice that I'm not just doing this where my body's facing forward, but I'm using my breastbone as a way for my body to kind of rotate, to lead the movement. So I'm going from one side and I'm going up and over and I'm twisting to the side. Can you see that? So my breastbone kind of does this. Okay, same thing again, up and over, up and over. Let your eyes follow where your fingers are going, if you would like. So we're trying to step over the tissue box, over the tissue box. So join me here if you haven't already. Remember, you don't have to do the same speed. You are welcome to do a much slower speed. And of course, by all means, if you need to hold on to something in front of you, feel free to do so. If this is too difficult and you need a chair in front, so be it. We can go up and over, up and over. That's okay as well. So it's up to you. And of course, it doesn't have to be very fast. You're welcome to slow it down. But I really want you to spread those fingers nice and wide. Imagine that canvas in front of you, and you're painting a gigantic rainbow with the fingers. So this is a really good balance exercise because number one, we're stepping over something and we're traveling sideways, but we've also added in some arm and torso movement. And it's challenging our ability to keep our center of gravity over our base of support, i.e. our feet, as we're moving in all sorts of direction and as our four limbs are kind of moving out of our midline here. So we're not falling down to the side, we're choosing to step step, and it's pretty rhythmic. So we're not going step, fall. We're not doing a step, step right away, but we're going a step, step. It's rhythmic. Step, step. So we don't want to be stepping our second leg over right away, even though it's tempting. So we're going step, there's a bit of a pause, and then step, step, step. That's it, step, step. So we're not falling. The second leg is not falling in, but it's rhythmic. We're choosing to lift that leg over. Nicely done. Let's go for 10 in your own time. Spread those fingers. How high can you reach? Nicely done. I've got one more here. And done with that exercise. Okay, when you've done your 10, you can put the tissue box away. And this time, we're grabbing our cushion instead. I'm going to actually put the cushion aside for a second. Let me just show you the legs so it's not too confusing. So I want you to face me when you're doing this, but I'm going sideways because you can't see me properly if I'm facing you. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a step forward, and then I'm going to pivot on my toes to the other side, bring the back leg in. Now I'm starting with the other leg. So now do my left leg. Stepping forward, pivot, step in. Let me show you that again. Right leg, step forward, pivoting on our toes. Our entire body is facing the other side. Pivot, back leg comes in. Left leg, step forward, returning around to the other side, pivot, back in. Now your legs do not have to be really wide. You are welcome to do a smaller step, so it's a bit easier. So you can do a smaller step, pivot, in. It doesn't have to be too large. You can do a smaller step, pivot, in. Noticing that my toes are always pointing the direction I'm facing. So I'm facing this way, so are my toes. And as I pivot, my toes turn with me. Okay, so as I pivot, my toes turn with me. So that's the movement. We step forward, pivot, step in, other side, step forward, pivot, step in. You're of course welcome to do this much slower. Okay, adding in the cushion. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna step forward, stick that cushion out in front of us, keep it there as we pivot, and when we step in, we're going to pass the cushion around our body. Doesn't matter what direction, up to you. Same two. Step in, pass the cushion around the body. And then again, step forward, keep the arms out as we pivot, come in, pass the cushion around your body. Same to the other side. So hopefully you have joined me here. If you haven't yet, see if you can join me. I'm going to go nice and slow, okay? So that way you can see me. But if you think you've got this movement, you are welcome to go faster as long as you're keeping your technique and you're not falling over as you're pivoting. Now, this is too difficult with the arms on the cushion. You're welcome to drop the cushion and put a chair to the side. So on both sides, if you like, so you can hold on. So then you step, oops, too big of a step. And then you pivot, you can hold on to the other side and come in, okay? So if it's too difficult for you to do it hands-free, you are welcome to hold on both sides to something sturdy to then help you, okay? So it's up to you. but we're practicing this kind of multi-direction stepping, this turning, these kind of pivot movements that we may need on a daily basis to stay balanced. Okay, keep going. Remember, you can go nice and slow. It doesn't have to be fast. Oops, I forgot to pass the cushion around my body. Hopefully you weren't following me there. Keep going. Remember, every time you turn and you step in, the cushion goes around your body. And then we do that again. You pivot, the toes are turning where the body is going. In, and you're bringing that cushion around. I know this one's a little more challenging, so don't worry if it feels tough. Take your time, doesn't have to be quick. It's not a race. You do you. Nicely done. Remember, the toes are turning where the body is going. You're welcome to hold on if you need. You don't have to take your hands off the chair, and you don't need to hold on to the cushion. So you can see what I meant earlier when I said it doesn't have to be a cushion. It could be anything. You can pass anything around your body as long as it's something around this size. Nicely done. Let's go for 6 more. Wherever you are, you're going to do 6 more of these pivots. Take your time if you need, okay? It's not a rush. In your own time, whenever you've done 6, then you can put your cushion away and we'll move on to the next thing. So remember, you don't have to follow the same speed I'm doing. You are welcome to do it slower or faster. It's up to you. This is your class. This is your workout. Nicely done. I think I've lost count of my how many I've done. I always talk a little too much in these classes and then I lose count. Okay, I think I've got 3 more. Remember to try to keep your center of gravity over your base of support. So you're pivoting on the spot. You're keeping your center of gravity over your base of support the entire time. Nicely done. Okay, when you've done your 6, you can put that cushion away. And we're now going to bring our chair in front or a table, whatever you're using. Now, we're going to be practicing our getting on and off the floor exercise that we did last time. So remember we talked about learning backwards chaining, which basically means getting up from the floor after a fall. It's quite important for your falls education, for your confidence and your ability to walk. If you know that you can get yourself back up from the floor, as long as you're not hurt. And this is what we were doing. So we are going to go holding onto a chair or table. We're going to step back and we're going to bring our knee down to the floor. Then our second knee is going to come down to the floor position. Today, we're going to add on a little bit from here. Just be careful when you're doing this. Bring those arms a little wider, and we're going to sit down onto one side of our hip, and you're going to sit down fully onto your bottom if you can. Your legs can do whatever they want when you're sitting, and then we're going to get back up in reverse, the exact same way, backwards chaining. We're going to get onto all fours. So we're putting our legs down, and we're using our arms, using our body, using our leg to push up onto your hands and knees. Then our hands are gonna go up onto the chair one at a time. Then our leg is gonna come up one at a time to come back to stand. Now that's the full version we're doing today, but here are some modifications. If you can't do that, don't worry, you can try this. You are welcome to stick with what we did last time where you brought both knees down, both hands down, and then we just come right back up if you like. Or if that's too much for you, you are welcome to just do a double knee and then get right back up. If that's still too much for you, not to worry, you can do a single knee, get back up, a single knee, get back up, or if you can't bring the knees to the floor at all, that's okay. Step back, lunge, go down as far as you feel you can, come back up. Same to the other side. Step back, lunge as far as you can, and come back up. Now, I want you to be careful here. No one should be crashing into your knees. So if your knees are a little sensitive, you're welcome to put a cushion behind you, not in front, behind you. So that way, when you step back over the cushion, you can put your knee down onto the cushion if you think that's helpful. And now, of course, we do want to remember that when you are stepping back, if your leg is too close together, if you're like this, if you only step back that far, there's no way you can get down to the floor because your knees are just stuck. They're either stuck against each other or against the chair. So you need to step back far enough, then get down to the floor, okay? So it's up to you what version you're doing. Join me now, whether you're doing just the reverse lunges or whether you're just doing the single knees or the double knees or the hands onto the floor or the full version of sitting onto your bottom and then getting back up. It's entirely up to you. But I want you to take your time here, okay? This is not about speed. I want you to do this carefully and with control. Nobody should be crashing and falling to the floor. You're choosing to do everything with control. You're not falling, okay? That's why it's easier to have a chair or something you can physically grab versus a wall because you'll just slide down the wall. So be careful here, okay? You're using your arms and your legs to help you get back up. So remember what we talked about earlier, we're keeping our center of gravity over our base of support. With every step I take, my center of gravity is in the middle of my base of support. And as I put my hands down, my base of support changes from just the knees to the knees and the hand. So now my body's forward, my center of gravity is still over my base of support, right? And then as I sit down, my center of gravity is still over my base of support, still in the middle. And then I'm sitting down onto my bottom. You can straighten the knees, you can bend them, whatever you like to do, but you're trying to get both butt cheeks onto the floor if you can. And then we're gonna come back up into our 4-point kneeling position. Remember, you don't have to do this full version. By all means, you are welcome to do your double knees or your single knees, or for that matter, just lunges and come back up. It's entirely up to you, but I want you to be safe. So if you're by yourself and you've never done this before, and you're worried about getting up from the floor, maybe don't do this right this moment. You're welcome to do your single knees, double knees, or even your 4-point kneeling with your hands onto the floor if you feel confident, but you don't have to sit all the way down onto your bottom if you're worried that you're not going to be able to get back up if you've never done that before and there's no one around you to help you if needed. Just be careful when you're doing this one, okay? Remember, take your time. No rush. Nicely done, everybody. Hopefully you've got room around you to do this and you're not going to hit any furniture as you're doing this. You'll probably notice I'm only going to one side and that's okay. Go to whichever side you feel confident doing. And just take your time on this. Make sure you got something good to grip onto, something sturdy. Ideally not a wall, because you'll just slide right down. No one should be crashing their knees into the floor, okay? Please be careful. Do not injure yourself for this exercise. Be careful. How are we doing? Let's do two more. Wherever you are, do two more in your own. When you've done your two, you're going to bring the chair behind you. Take your time. If you haven't finished, don't worry, don't rush. But when you are done, you're going to bring a chair behind you and you're going to practice our sit. Sitting down nice and slow. Remember where we're sticking our to then sit down. And then we're going to do the same thing, standing up again. Bring your to stand up. You can either stay here with both feet, or you can do your one leg bias where one leg goes forward. It's up to you, but I just want you to feel here as you're doing the sit to stand. Does it feel different to when you first did it at the beginning of the class? Does it feel a little easier? Maybe you're getting your weight over your feet a little bit better. Regardless of what you're feeling, I do want you to try the slow sit to stand and stand to sit, just with the technique that we did at the beginning, exactly the same. Regardless of whether you're doing both feet on the floor or the single leg bias, it's entirely up to you. But I just want you to do this a couple of times and just feel how everything feels. Hopefully you're a little bit more balanced, a little bit more confident. But even if not, that's okay. Let's keep practicing. But hopefully your chair didn't just slide back like mine did. Let's do one more wherever you are. Just do one more. And then when you're finished, I want you to sit back down, okay? So you're gonna end in a seated position. Nicely done, okay. So now in sitting, we're gonna sit forward in the chair. So you're right at the edge of the chair. You're going to stick one leg forward, straighten that knee, and you're gonna reach your hands down that straightened leg as far down as you can, whether that's your thigh, your knee, your shin, your foot, whatever you can reach. Let me turn sideways and stay where you are. And you're keeping your spine straight and you're hinging at the hips. And you should feel a stretch at the back of that thigh. We're holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back in, same to the other side. Stretching that leg forward, nice and tall with the body. Hinge forward at the hips. And we're holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up exactly the same. Leg forward, nice and tall. Hinge forward at the hips. Coming back up. Nicely done. Let's do one more. Hinge forward at the hips, holding it there. And bring it back up. Okay, stay where you are. I'm gonna turn to face you. Okay. We're still sitting forward in the chair. We're now doing a thigh stretch. So we're going to turn ourselves over on a diagonal in our chairs like so. And then I'm going to bring that front knee towards the floor. So I'm sliding that foot back and I'm dropping the front knee to the floor. And I'm now leaning back into my chair. So I'm leaning into the chair and I'm sitting back and I'm pushing my hip forward. You should feel a stretch on your thigh. And we're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sitting back up. Bring your leg forward. Come back to the center. Same to the other side. We're turning on a diagonal, sliding that foot back, bringing that knee to the floor, and you're sitting back, pushing that hip forward, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sitting back up, bring the leg in, come back to the front. Now we're going to do a bottom stretch here. So we're going to take one of our legs. If you can, we're going to hike that foot over the knee, and we're going to try to press that front knee down. So pressing that front knee down, if you can, sit up tall, hinge forward at the hip, and you should feel that stretch in your bottom. If this is too hard, don't worry. Straighten one of the legs, bring the other foot over the knee, so it's a little less steep because you're straightening your bottom leg. And the same as before, sit up nice and tall. Imagine your belly button's being pulled forward, and you should feel it in your hip, in the back of the hip, in the bottom. So. And lower down, same to the other side. Take your leg, hike it over your opposite knee. Remember, you can straighten that leg as well, so it's less steep. Sit up nice and tall, push that knee down, hinge forward over that leg to feel it in the bottom muscle. Holding here. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Sitting back up, relaxing the leg down, spread the legs a little wider. Reach the arms up into a T shape, and we're going to go into a side stretch. So you're tipping down sideways. Remember, it's not just the arms, but your entire body tipping sideways, reaching to the floor with one arm, reaching up with the other one. And coming back up, drop the arms, same to the other side. Float the arms up, and we're tipping down to the side. Reach down, reach up. And come back to the middle. And we're going to drop the arms. Take the hand, reach the opposite knee, other hand wrapping around the back of the chair. Just like the beginning, sit up tall. And we're going to twist ourselves around to look at the back wall. Make sure you're nice and tall, holding here. Back to the middle, same to the other side. Take your hand, hold on to the opposite knee, other hand wrapping around the chair, sitting tall, and twisting around. Coming back to the front, stay where you are. I'm going to turn sideways. You're going to sit back in the chair, shuffle your bottom back, lean into the back of the chair, slouching one more time, bringing those hands up behind the head, open the elbows to the side, and we're going to go up and over, lifting the chest to the ceiling, holding it here. And coming back, drop the arms. Let's do one more. Bring the arms up behind the head, open the elbows to the side, and we're going to lift up and over. And coming back, sitting up nice and tall again. And you are done. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for week 4 of our balance class. Once again, apologies about the freezing issue if your screen is not quite that clear. I'm not sure how to fix the problem on my end, but we do have the session recorded, so you are welcome to have a look at the recording. It should be up in the next couple of days, hopefully before the end of this week, and then you're welcome to revisit any of the exercises that you might have had issues with. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you. I hope that was okay, and I hope that was enjoyable. We have our next class on Tuesday being the final session. So I hope to see you guys there. And don't forget to look at the recording if you would like to practice anything. Okay, good. And please do have a look at our website for our future exercise classes. We do have the hand dexterity exercise class coming up in June if you're interested in doing more for the hands. And we will be doing a little bit of writing practice as well in that class. So if that's something you're looking for, you are welcome to join us. And we do also have a voice aerobics class next month as well. And there will be some physical exercise in that class, but it's mostly going to be targeting the voice, and it's taught by a speech and language pathologist from the States. So please feel free to sign up if you're interested, and I will see you all next week. Thank you, everybody. Bye for now. Thank you.